Okay, so when I started my journey in 2017, and most of you, who are from the batch of 2017, must have started their journey through one company, and that is Zebpay. So Zebpay is close to my heart because it's like when you start a journey through a platform, your first step in Bitcoin or your first step in crypto, when you think of okay, what was that first platform that you used to acquire Bitcoin? So that was Zebpay. I think those early days were very difficult. Those early days were times when obviously there was no liquidity, there was issues, there were no clarity. But I think Zebpay at that point of time took initiative to bring Bitcoin to people. Yes, there were things that, okay, the Bitcoin over Zebpay during that time was on a higher side and stuff like that. But let's give it to them that at least they tried to bring Bitcoin for the first time in this country, in India, in 2016-17. I think most of our journey started from Zebpay. Now what happened was when the ban came in, we all know that Zebpay tried to close their operations from India and they were going back. Sandeep Goenka had moved out to Singapore and many other co-founders had also left. And there was a lot of panic. People were selling in losses. And Zebpay, while they had acquired this brand equity during that time, a lot of people said that, okay, the crypto has died now because after Zebpay's exit, the biggest exchange at that point of time, most of the people thought that crypto in India is over. But I think Rahul, while having a conversation before recording this podcast informally, he said that the biggest motivation for me to enter India and to acquire Zebpay was not money, because obviously I was already making money in US because he has been an entrepreneur for some time. His father, by the way, who's sitting here on my left side, is an entrepreneur and he has made a lot of money. So he didn't enter in India in this controversial subject, which is crypto, to make money. He said that since he is a believer in Bitcoin, and that is the reason he is here in the Bitcoin conference, he said that for him, the biggest motivation to acquire Zebpay was to revive Bitcoin and to believe that if India has to grow, and Indians have to grow, and the best way to pay back Indians and to pay back India is to bring that culture of Bitcoin, crypto, and let this company revive, through which most of the people have entered into this space. So first of all, congratulations, Rahul, for that vision, that mission, because every story has a beginning. Every story has an inspiration. So for you, if this was the inspiration, because I didn't knew that, I just thought that as an entrepreneur, you found an opportunity. But I don't think so it's an opportunity, because there were better opportunities in India, because the fintech space was also evolving during that time. But you thought of this of buying Zebpay. So if you can tell your story in your own words, what was the reason to buy Bitcoin? It was a lucrative opportunity, or you believed that if Zebpay will die, eventually the growth in the Bitcoin space will also slow down.
Sure. First, Kashyap, thanks for having me. I'm a big fan of the podcast, of the show.
Thank you very much.
And I want to say congratulations on Bitcoin $100,000. Huge. He's been a factor. Zebpay, the whole Indian ecosystem has been a factor. And I don't think Bitcoin would have got to 100 grand without India.
Yeah.
I'd say the story starts with Bitcoin. I first read the Bitcoin white paper in 2011.
Yeah.
Like a long time ago. Bitcoin was $3.
$3, okay.
Yeah. And it went all the way up to $30, and then it crashed back down to $5, something like that, right? And during that time, I was, like everybody else, thought Bitcoin was a Ponzi scheme.
Yeah.
But eventually, over like a year or two, I found out, read more about it, and realized that it's amazing potential. In 2013, I bought Bitcoin from Maheen Gupta's buysellbitco.in, which the very first exchange in India was at.
Yeah.
It wasn't Unicorn, wasn't Zebpay.
Yeah.
It was Maheen's buysellbitco.in. And what happened was, as you guys know, in 2017, you talk about the circular happening.
Yeah.
Bitcoin was not $100,000. It wasn't a big, like it was today. It went from roughly $20,000 back down to $3,000. And the Indian government put the RBI circular in place.
Yeah, 2018.
Quote unquote, they banned Bitcoin.
Yeah.
And I had already, realized that Bitcoin was going to be huge. And I was really worried about, Bitcoin dying. I knew it wouldn't die, but I was worried that it could be frozen for a long, long time. And so what happened was I'd already loved India for a long time. I'd been an entrepreneur in India, and I'd loved Bitcoin for a long time. And then I realized I might as well just focus my energy on connecting them together. Take my love for India, take my love for Bitcoin, and then I realized that Zebpay, even though it had problems, it was such an amazing brand that it would be a waste to society, a waste to the world, a bad thing if it's failed. And so in 2018, going into 19, when there's a lot of like upheaval about what to do with the RBI circuit, what to do with the people about criminality, like owning Bitcoin would have been a criminal action. That really scared the founders into, oh, hey, should we be in the space? And I said, guys, you can't quit now. Now's the time when we need most. So I came in and said, listen, guys, if you don't want to do it, I'll do it. And this is, I'm going to knock on some wood if I can. In 2019, Zebpay was 5 years old. We just celebrated our 10-year anniversary this year.
Okay,
And what happened was, I said, if you guys don't want to do it, then like, I'll come in.
Okay.
Right? And so the quick answer was, I had so much love for Bitcoin, so much love for India, I decided to actually come on in, and even though it was like a crazy roller coaster ride, like I have a lot of love for like the whole ecosystem, for India, for Bitcoin, and my goal is my long-term goal. I think Zebpay's 10 years old right now. I want to be 100 years old. I want to 10x it. Bitcoin's $100,000 right now. I think it'll be worth $1 million. And I mean that. People are like, what? And you know that too. Bitcoin will be worth $1 million a coin.
Eric Trump said that.
Yes. Do you believe it?
Yes. So for a Bitcoiner, yes.
I don't believe it. I know it. And so my goal is, how can Zebpay help Bitcoin get to $1 million a coin? How can we get 100 million Indians to own it? So that's basically the mission.
And how we can make that easy. So tell me something that I come straight to the point. Recently there was a setback. Things were going fine. I think the growth was there until we saw that the biggest exchange, one of the biggest exchanges in the country
Wazirx
got hacked. What is your overall feel? How we can make this ecosystem safer? But before that, your first reaction to whatever happened, I mean, was this a setback to you and your management as well? Because this is not just a hack on Wazirx.
It's a whole system.
This has pushed back the industry by some years. Because the growth was there, things were going fine until this happened. What is your overall first reaction to this? Does this worry you?
It worries me. It worried me before it happened. It worried me when it happened, and it worries me after. And I'll tell you what, like being a CEO of a crypto company is probably one of the hardest things in the world. People don't realize it's my contemporaries are either in jail, or they're bankrupt, or they're like under great duress. And so your point on like how did I feel is it like I think the number one job of any exchange, any kind of a financial service firm is to keep your money safe, right? And so we've been very lucky that we've avoided, and you know this, like after 10 years, we've avoided a lot of stuff. That doesn't mean it can't go forever. It's like you have to have systems in place, like cold storage, multi-sig, security audits, everything. And even then, and I think Nishal tried to keep a good job. I think even then, what ended up happening was hackers can hack, right? So, and what I mean by that is, it's like warfare. You make better weapons, they'll make better weapons to counteract. You make better shields, and then so. But now, what I'd say is that a really good CEO would be incorrect to say that it doesn't keep them up at night to not get hacked. You guys know there's 3 or 4 major exchanges, right? There's Wazirx, DCX, Switch, Zebpay, a couple older, smaller exchanges, Uno Coin, BitBNS. I think BitBNS is having problems too. And the point is that out of the 4 big ones, Wazirx was quote unquote acquired by Binance, but not acquired by Binance. It had all these little issues happening. And so I'm not gonna worry about that. I'm gonna worry about the security stuff. I think that what needs to happen is, I like the idea of proof of reserves. There need to be proof of assets and proof of liabilities. I think there's benefits of what Coinbase is doing, being a public company. A lot of people ask me, is Zebpay going to have a token? Is Zebpay going to go public? The simple answer is I don't know. If it makes strategic sense, maybe. The way Binance is doing is really well. They list all their assets out. I love what CoinD6 and CoinSwitch are doing. Zebpay, we actually do have a quarterly all-employee meeting, and we share internally everything what we do. And it's cool. So it's kind of like I open kimono everything to the people inside the ship, so they can see it. And see, if you look at what you're worried about, two things: one about security, and one about fraud. So, like the good thing about that, it keeps us honest to make sure that all the money is there and everything's there. What I hope to do is having a better system and learning from the best to do this. So, but back on like Wazirx, it did really hurt the system. I'm worried about this. I think your main point is what next. I've been in Bitcoin for a long time, and I had Bitcoin at Mt. Gox. That Bitcoin is still not back yet. It's 12 years later. And I'm really worried about Indians who have money on an exchange, and if it gets hacked, do they leave the ecosystem? And my hope is not. Because it took a lot of willpower for me to lose money on exchange and still buy into Bitcoin. Because all my friends are like, oh, how's your Bitcoin doing? It got hacked. And so Wazirx has millions of users. You can see like 5 million users have money on the exchange, and I want to figure out how we can help them out. So that is an ecosystem.
Are you happy with the solution, the way Wazirx is?
Yeah. So
are you happy with it? Any comments on the solution?
So,
or this situation could have been handled better way? I mean, I need an honest opinion from you.
So, like I said, like I'm friends with Nishal. I'm friends with Maheen. I'm friends with the other founders of CoinD6 and CoinSwitch. So, like everything I say with a grain of salt is that you can't blame someone for like getting robbed, which would happen, right? They basically the money was stolen. The good thing about a little perspective I have is we're also a Singapore company. Like Zebpay's holding company is a Singapore company. We have subsidiaries in Australia, other countries, India, and so how it's actually being handled, in many ways, that's a legal question with judges and stuff like that. I think that you have to kind of give Nishal a little bit of slack in realizing that he's an entrepreneur. He's not like a restructuring CEO. I think he has good intentions, but I think what happens is intentions can only go so far. You have to figure out what the actual customer wants. I don't think many customers are like, hey, I want my money like the day after the hack. That's not going to happen. And some people and it's also not going to happen where it takes 10 years, right? There should be a really good process of listen. Here's the money that's left. If you want out, get out. If you want to stay in the system and maybe get more money back, then stay on board, right? And so right now what's happening, from my understanding, is they're dollarizing the claims, and they're trying to then, if that's approved, pay people back with some token and some dollar. So I haven't read the actual details, but I would say if the majority of creditors who vote yes, then I'm thumbs up that this should happen, right?
Rahul, you came as a rescue for Zebpay when Zebpay was dying. Why is nobody has come up for Wazirx rescue? What is the issue? Why Coinbase, or why not any other exchange that is situated outside? For them, 230 million, 250 million is not a big amount.
It's actually not.
Why investors are not interested?
So I think, so if you go look at like the capital structure for the exchanges, the two, like I said, there's 4 larger exchanges, right? 2 of them have raised about $250 million. DCX and Switch, they've each raised that much money. And then let's say the whole for Wazirx is also $250 million, right? It's actually higher now because the crypto prices have gone up. But most people, I think you might find an investor who might come in and write a check for that, but that's only if the company's clean. There's a lot of other issues that you got to fix. There's still a lot of problems with the government, still a lot of problems with ED stuff, there's a lot of problems with hacks, and so I just think that many investors, they don't mind if you have like one organ failure. If you have multiple organ failures, you got to fix like 3 or 4 systems. That's the more difficult part. So, but I'm optimistic that something can be fixed. I hope that the community, other investors can come in and maybe solve something. So, but we'll see.
Do you think there is a hope that an
So
outsider...
the simple answer is that you're not going to get 100% of your crypto back, without a doubt. Like that's impossible. And the reason why it's impossible is...
but in USD terms? Because in USD terms, funds have been recovered, if you see.
Yeah, exactly. So what I think will happen is this. You got to look at it like, there's $500 million in assets, $250 million was stolen, okay? What happened was, the remaining assets have now doubled in price.
Yeah.
So it looks like you're getting a full recovery. But that's if you're pricing it in dollars.
Yeah, in dollars. In crypto, it is not possible.
Yeah.
But in dollars, there is a possibility.
So yeah, you're gonna get back the dollar amount. And so, but the goal should be that you should also get back some of the crypto as well, right? And so, I think that over time, if there's favorable type management, you can get back a good bit.
Okay.
Yeah, more than what you thought in July.
What you have learned out of this thing? How when you sit with your management, your team?
Let's talk about it. So, as you guys know,
do you guys say that we ensure that this thing should not be repeated, or this thing should not happen? At least with Zebpay. How do you ensure that?
So there's a lot of things, man.
What has changed after this incident?
Yeah, absolutely, positively. Let's talk about so we use Liminal. Thumbs up for Liminal. I think Liminal is a good system. I know Wazirx and Liminal have been fighting a lot, and I don't know who's right or who's wrong. Zebpay uses it, but what we've done, very honestly, is we also use Firebox. And we've juggled around how much is Liminal, how much is in Firebox. I won't disclose how much, but the thing is, it's good having don't have any single points of failure. We've always had Firebox. In fact, we have three. You have Firebox, Bitco, and Liminal.
Can you elaborate what is Firebox?
So Firebox is a custody, is a technology solution to help exchanges.
Who else is using it?
Oh, everyone. Like, I don't know if you've heard of Firebox. I don't know if you've heard of it. Firebox is okay. Here are the three major security type things. Firebox is probably the best. It's expensive. We use it. Bitco is also very good. Liminal is also very good, but it's more of a startup. Co-founded by Maheen Gupta, who's the founder of Zebpay. And what we've done is we've redesigned our system so that we want to use different levels of security and custom provided for different purposes, right? So the thing is cold storage, warm wallets, hot wallets, meaning that cold is where you keep your Bitcoin very safe. Warm is kind of like you're moving money in and out, and hot is like where, and I don't want to bore too much technical stuff, is where the deposit addresses come in. What we want to be doing is we don't want to actually, after looking at Nishal, we don't want to keep all of our money in one big wallet. And we haven't finalized it, but we want to break it up into smaller pieces so that even if a wallet was hacked, it would only be 10% of the money. So here's what's cool right now. Right now, Zebpay, especially the crypto prices going up, what people don't realize, Zebpay we've been running the Michael Saylor strategy playbook for 6 years. Zebpay is probably the largest owner of Bitcoin and Ethereum and BAT in India. We own it, we love it. We don't talk about it publicly, but we've owned it, we've held it for a long, long, long time. And so what we want to be doing is, we could get a multi-million-dollar hack today and still live, right? And that's what we want to have enough money that even if there's an issue, Zebpay can like survive and live on. That's basically the answer. Is that have a lot of money, have better security, have better diversification, better systems in place. So we're constantly upgrading things. And by the way, we've been doing this for 10 years. And Kash, you know, it's like, watch. Look how many companies have died or gone under. This you can count.
There comes the Lindy effect. Okay, tell me. There have been consistent feedback I personally receive on Twitter that two things: that you charge for keeping crypto with Zebpay, why there is a membership fee or some kind of a fee for keeping the crypto on an exchange. No other exchange does it. And also, there were issues related to crypto withdrawal. People are not able to withdraw crypto when other exchanges are doing it, like UnoCoin and other exchanges. What is the real issue here?
So first, let's talk about the membership fee. Membership fee, what's funny is when we first did it, everyone talked about it. Actually, UnoCoin copied it. They also have it now. So the reason why we do the membership fee is a lot of people want amazing service, but you can't do it for free. I mean, you don't go to Starbucks and get a free coffee. You don't go to a hotel and get a free room. The reason why there's a custody fee is we have a lot of expenses. We have technology, you have security, you have compliance, and what I realized a long time ago is that my preference, you know this too, I really do this, I want people to own Bitcoin in their own wallets. It's a big pain in the butt. I highly recommend that you keep a significant amount of your Bitcoin in a
But they
ledger.
say you don't allow it to happen then.
No. So here's the thing. That's the first part. So the first part is that. And the goal of the exchange, 100%, there's very few exchange CEOs that talk about this. The goal of the exchange is come in, if you have Bitcoin, put it on the exchange, and then sell it and take your money out. Or come in and deposit money, buy the Bitcoin, and then take it out. And in fact, if you go meet a lot of our high net worth investors, that's what we do. In fact, a lot of our business is helping high net worth investors. I know you want to talk about that too, is especially with the price going up. They want to come in. Most of our large clients don't keep their Bitcoin with us. They buy like a crore worth of Bitcoin and then take it off and it's fine. Now, here's a big question about membership fee. How do you get around it? Well, the reason why I did this is there's two ways to get around the membership fee. One is my best recommendation for everyone is to buy Bitcoin every single day. That's hard for most people. So instead, buy it once a week or buy it once a month. If you make one transaction per month, there's no membership fee. And they'll go, why? That's not fair. Why don't you do it? Think of me as a coach, as your personal trainer, and I'm expensive. And I say, Kash, if you don't come in the gym, I'm gonna charge you $100. And you know what you're gonna do? You're gonna come to the gym and see me at least once a month because you know it. People who really care about it, who really, really care, come in and do a workout session with me and then learn about it. Now, people who wanna hold their crypto and wanna hold it, we have another option. You put it in the loan program. We have a lending program. If you lend your crypto out or you make one trade a month, there's no membership fees. And I think that's a very fair way that like, if I'm a personal trainer, either you come in and see me once a month and no charge, or you know what, if you don't want to do that, drink a lot of good water, or do something else that's good, and then I'll waive the fee, like lending. So, and then the second part really is about, let's say, withdrawals. I think that's fake news. We do allow withdrawals. What happened with withdrawals was we were one of the, as you know, we're 10 years old. If you go look back throughout our whole career, we're one of the few exchanges that had withdrawals for a long time. And this is, if you're worried about our withdrawal policy right now, it's really done not by Zebpay, but by, ready? The government. We fought really hard to keep Bitcoin withdrawals open for a very, very long time. The ED, the FIU, the Reserve Bank of India, the SEBI, they eventually came and said, listen, you can't allow unlimited withdrawals because they're worried about FEMA, for people, Foreign Exchange Management Act. And they said, if you're allowing more than X amount of withdrawals per year, you need to do A, B, C, and D. So what we've done is, as one of the few exchanges that has a bank account where you come in, we cut out withdrawals. So we've heard about Operation Choke Point 2.0. Just like in America, banks are tough. In India, banks are tough. It's not really about what we want. Our bank said, Zebpay, if you want to allow fiat in, you have to be very careful on who you let withdrawals out. So that's what we've done. So we kind of have a very strict policy, kind of really set by banking and by regulators, right? But if you go through the KYC checks, just like I said, we have millionaire clients, crorepati clients, right? Yeah. People come in, they buy a crore and they take it out. So we allow it.
Yeah. Okay, tell me one thing. We heard this news of Jet King buying Bitcoin as a treasury reserve asset. Tell me, has Zebpay ever received request from a public limited company? Yeah. Ever?
We're working with. What's funny is we don't talk about which ones, but we've been working. Zebpay has been serving corporate clients since 2014.
Okay.
Yeah, private limited companies, foreign companies, and the cool thing about Bitcoin, because it's privacy centered, people who buy it, they don't want to know. I know.
Are there any public limited companies buying Bitcoin from you?
There's other ones, and I know a couple of them. They not just Bitcoin, but Ether and Solana and everything else they want to buy. So I think that first, Michael Saylor is doing a phenomenal job with this. Congratulations to Jet King, first of all. It seemed like a great guy. I met them at this conference. So
great guys.
Yeah, and so they own 12 Bitcoin, which is over $1 million, which is like, huge. And I would highly recommend if you're a CEO of a public or a private corporation in India, come talk to us. We've been working on a ton of different ideas from. I really think of Zebpay as being almost a crypto investment bank. From hedging, futures, buying Bitcoin, keeping it secure, custodying, even being like an escrow agent. This is all happening right now in India. It's happening around the world, but it's happening in India too.
Right. That's a great news. Any last thought, Rahul, to anyone who's listening to you?
So the big thing is this: is we're at this Bitcoin conference, right? And that's, you have the
Yes,
Bitcoin hat,
yeah.
and I love it.
Yeah.
So my belief is Zebpay's original kind of slogan was "Simple, Secure Bitcoin." And as an exchange, we love Bitcoin. Like I'd say, out of all the exchanges, we love Bitcoin the most. And I mean, not only do I mean that, we own. You're talking about Jet King. Zebpay owns an enormous amount of Bitcoin on our balance sheet.
That's amazing.
Yeah, we're probably the largest holder of Bitcoin in all of India.
Can you give us an idea? How?
I will soon. Way more. It's millions and millions of dollars. And the reason why we do that is because we want to protect ourselves and our users, right? We own Bitcoin, we own Ethereum, and we own the BAT token.
Yeah.
The basic
and you do it every day.
Yeah, and I do it every day. The Brave
You
token.
do push-ups.
So just like what I do personally, I buy Bitcoin, I buy ETH, I buy BAT. So does Zebpay. We buy it every day, and it's millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
And so what I recommend for people to do is, and back to Zebpay's simple, secure Bitcoin, concentrate most of your assets in Bitcoin. It is the best asset, and I think you know that too.
Yeah.
There's a distant Ethereum, and then even then it's a distant third, fourth, fifth, sixth. And so really those two assets, Bitcoin and Ethereum, should be the core of your portfolio, and don't actually trade a whole lot, invest. What I mean by that, exchanges make money when you trade. You make money when you invest.
Yeah. So I mean, just imagine for his benefit, he would have said trade more, but he knows that as an investor,
HODL.
you'll make money when you'll hodl for not just for months, not just for a year, but for the decade.
And that is HODL buy.
Bitcoin is something that is meant for decades, and I think this conversation held up pretty well. Rahul, for the first time I met you.
Yeah,
and your
it's good to
thoughts
meet
are
you in
very
person.
inspiring.
Yeah.
And you were very open.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that's a sign that an exchange founder needs to open up, needs to be transparent, and needs to admit that what's going wrong. I think because this is the ethos that were ethos of Satoshi Nakamoto, of openness.
Yeah, listen, I
and
love
transparency.
open source. I actually engage with people on Twitter. You can follow me at ETH_US. As you know, I love Ethereum.
Yeah.
And or tag me on Zebpay. I want to make Zebpay like the biggest supporter of Bitcoin and Ethereum in all of India.
Yeah.
And I literally, and people, I'm passionate about this industry. I love it. I love the community. I think Bitcoin can be one of the leverage points to make India a better country. We were talking about my dad, Kashif, my dad. My dad grew up really poor in India as an untouchable Dalit, and he came to America and became a billionaire. And my belief,
amazing.
It's an amazing rags to riches story, is that Bitcoin enables people, hopefully eventually billions around the world, hopefully hundreds of millions in India, to achieve financial freedom. If you go ask our team members why we're there, we're not there to make money. I'm not there to like take your money. My there is to educate you and give you access to this amazing asset. And don't just hodl Bitcoin, buy it. And if you buy Bitcoin every day, I guarantee you that you will achieve financial freedom. My legal team says, oh, be careful about financial advice. I say, listen, this is financial advice. You should buy Bitcoin. There's no disclaimer. Buy Bitcoin and hold it for the long term.
So, I mean, thank you very much. I think these are very inspiring thoughts, Rahul.
Yeah.
It was a pleasure talking to you.
Yeah, ditto,
Thank
ditto.
you very much.